Hello everyone, welcome back to The Captivating Christian, and today we're not going to be doing another movie review. Instead, we are going to be focusing on reading other people's movie reviews. Specifically, this is from a Christian movie site that I've been following for a while. It is Christian Spotlight, and what they do is they do written reviews from the Christian perspective and reviewing them to let people know and warn people if there are films with non-Christian messages and morals within them. I've only selected a few, and I'm going after movies that they are a lot more critical on. So if you're expecting me to read some of their reviews of things like God's Not Dead, they already said that they're fantastic movies, so you don't even have to worry about that for sure. If you're looking for Christian movie reviews that talk about how great Christian films are, but talk about how other films aren't so good, then this is definitely the website for you. This website's been around for a while, so I'm going to be going through at least 4 reviews that they have of different films that were not originally aimed for the Christian demographic. Now, some of these are subjects that I've already done videos on myself, but I just wanted to go through these people's written reviews and show off some of the fantastic analysis skills they have over at Christian Spotlight. First up, we have a written review of Porky Man, which is one of those Chinese cartoons. I still believe that they're called Animu, I believe. Main topics to talk about in this movie between parents and their children, especially Christian families, is the issue of psychic powers and abilities. Mewtwo and Mew, the Pokemon Mewtwo was cloned after, shows off their psychic or magical powers in the movie in many ways. Mewtwo simply twirls his hand and an ocean begins to churn and storms with huge waves. Mewtwo creates energy balls with his hand and then throws them at many characters during the movie. Mew and Mewtwo both create shield-like orbs around themselves before they go into combat with each other, and then in the climax of their fight, they both release these massive energy waves. All of this is, of course, fictitious, and is really no more harmful than the magical powers that characters use in a Tolkien novel, but many parents may wish to discuss these topics with their children. Now, honestly, some might look at that and say, oh, well, that was a pretty reasonable review. Even people who aren't very religious or are die-hard Porky Man fans. Well, so that was just one review of 4. So now we're moving on to a review that might ruffle some feathers, if you know what I mean. That is their review of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, I know this is still a hot button issue with a lot of Christians discussing whether or not Harry Potter is appropriate, and I even had a few Christian people who were alleged fans telling me that they thought, oh, I was just over-exaggerating and I was misrepresenting the franchise and all that kind of thing. Now, let's look at this person's analysis and show how these people really know what they're talking about when it comes to the Harry Potter franchise, more than people who are actually fans and are probably very invested and know a lot more than these people who just casually watch these films. There is an ongoing literary debate surrounding the content of these stories. Christians are even divided in the controversial issue. I know that I wrote a brief article for my weekly parents guide about these movies, which is published in a local paper, and I have received a 4-letter page from a local clergy. Pat Robertson's CBN News has been very outspoken regarding the content of Harry Potter books as evil and occultic. Charles Colson of his radio show Breakpoint has described the witchcraft in Harry Potter as not real-life witchcraft that the Bible condemns. He also said that the practices in the books are purely mechanical as opposed to occultic. Jeremiah Films has described the series as making evil look innocent. Focus on the Family posted an article in their Plugged In magazine by Lindy Beam. He contends that adults can use the themes of the Harry Potter series as a tool of evangelionism. Christian Today and World Magazine has also given the book series recommendations and suggests that the series of fantasy should not be taken literally. You can find an opinion that supports whatever view you have on the subject. Internet, which has numerous fan sites hyperlinked to Wiccan and witchcraft sites, and this compelling visual film experience could be powerful enough to engage young minds to ponder the dark side. Many of the toy tie-ins promote spells, 55 mentioned so far in the series, and witchcraft. Parents may want to wisely choose their Potter. My primary objection to this film and the story is the very strong and central theme about witchcraft. This is condemned clearly in Deuteronomy 18:10 through 12, and Ephesians 5:11 says, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. Matthew 18:6, but if anyone causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a large millstone hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. My cautions are underscored by the fact that we are living in a day different than the Wizard of Oz. We are technically not in Kansas anymore. I know, right? Why can't we go back to films like The Wizard of Oz?
It's like water on the Wicked Witch of the West.
Such a timely reference. So edgy. No wonder the kids relate to this guy.
What could be the consequences of placing the clay on young minds on Harry Potter's Wheel of Fantasy? I do know that Warner Brothers is enjoying two gifts this Christmas. One, for a box office success, and two, for a PG rating in a film that is extremely violent. I recommend that you resist this Pied Piper and skip it altogether. Alternatively, I highly recommend the Redwall series by author Brian Jacques. I have suggested it as a reading alternative to several parents, and they said that their children have thanked me. If you can avoid the Harry Potter hype, you too may one day thank me. Another thing I have to bring up with these reviews is before you actually get to the written reviews themselves, they actually have little rating scores at the top. And the Pokemon movie has the quality rating of 3.5 out of 5 stars, and the moral rating is just average, okay? And then the Harry Potter review, they give it movie making quality 5 out of 5 stars, but the moral rating is very offensive. Now you see, that right there is a good rating system. All right, you may be verified in your film quality, but are you verified on your morality? You may be verified on Twitter, but are you verified in the eyes of God? Now you get to another film that is very controversial in the religious circles. Obviously, it's a very hot button issue, no different than Harry Potter. You have the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which is a failure on both accounts because in its movie making quality score, it has a 2 out of 5 stars and it has the moral rating of offensive. I absolutely agree. I haven't even seen the film, and yet I totally agree with this review. Parental warnings are nearly inexcusable in considering this film. Please do not be deceived by the lighthearted, cute trailers for this cartoon, and take your kids to see it, assuming that it will be clean, innocent fun. There's animated nudity all throughout the film. We view Patrick's rare buttocks during 3 scenes, and SpongeBob's once. At one point, Patrick surprises SpongeBob at a community gathering by swinging over the crowd naked, holding a sign between his buttocks, which bear a message to his friend. SpongeBob and Patrick are shown in their underwear a few times. The underwear is drawn to look like men's fitted briefs. Sexual innuendo is present as Patrick is enamored by Mindy and flirts with her constantly, telling her that she's hot and asking her at one point if she wants to see his underwear. Will there be little boys on school playgrounds getting charged with sexual harassment after mimicking this sort of behavior coming from their lovable cartoon friend? Patrick also displays sexual perversion in the final scene, where he attends a rock concert wearing fishnet stockings and woman's black leather boots. David Hasselhoff makes an embarrassing cameo in swim trunks, during which his chest is computer manipulated so that his pectoral muscles flex unnaturally, even forming a square shape, and then he places SpongeBob and Patrick on his chest and uses his muscles to wedge them to propel them back down under the sea. It is a grotesque scene. Violence and frightening images are in no short supply. SpongeBob and Patrick are confronted by monsters and dark, scary places filled with piles of skeletons. They are chased by a bizarre creature trying to eat them. Small children could be terrified by these scenes. I agree. Haven't these people ever read a Spine Chiller's book before? Don't they know that entertainment is not supposed to provoke emotions like fear? Alright, don't they know that small children are watching this? Can't somebody please think of the children? After losing his promotion, SpongeBob accompanies Patrick to an ice cream shop, where they sit in a secluded corner which is illustrated to look like a bar which would serve alcohol. However, rather than liquor, they consume endless quantities of ice cream sundaes. The two behave as if they are intoxicated, slurring, stumbling, singing, and dancing. They wake up the next morning terribly hungover. The film concludes at a rock concert atmosphere. Oh, of course. Well, once again, the evils of rock and roll try to make their way creeping into it. An animated film for kids, of course. You see, it's only okay when they do it in movies like God's Not Dead because they had Christian artists that I like. During which SpongeBob dons a wizard's hat and cape and swoops over the crowd. Oh, even signs of witchcraft are here present. Explain that one, atheists. Hard rock blares while Patrick, wearing the fishnet stockings and boots, makes satanic symbols with his hands. Oh, it's just on full display. It's blatantly obvious. Wake up, people. The script contains a plethora of name-calling, one religious exclamation, and the phrase Jack star 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 is once said in a whisper. Okay, so now we come to the last review, and this is, again, a film that is probably very controversial within our community. I know that there are a lot of religious people that take offense to this franchise. I certainly have over the years, and I've even made videos talking about it. That obviously being My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. I do find it interesting. The moral rating here is average, and it has a 3 out of 5 stars. So now, like a lot of the other reviews, I'm going to be skipping the plot, and I'm just going to jump to what they thought about the film from a moral perspective, because really, that's what you should focus on when watching films. You shouldn't focus on the quality of anything like that. You should really focus on the messages. So, just like the other reviews, I'm just going to skip to that section of the review specifically. The movie has a message of friendship and working together and overcoming obstacles. One of the main characters, Tempest Shadow, eventually realizes the error of her ways. She used to be a part of Equestria, but didn't have a positive experience like Twilight Sparkle and her friends. When Tempest's horn broke, she blamed the other ponies and teamed up with the villain. She assumed that the Storm King would make good on his promise. Later, Tempest realizes friendship didn't fail me, I failed friendship. The movie may be a springboard for discussion with your children. The Bible says, bad company corrupts character, 1 Corinthians 15:33. That's what happened with Tempest. She was corrupted by the Storm King and later realized that he was leading her astray. The realization caused her to part ways with him and makes amends with her pony friends. Okay, well, that doesn't seem that bad. Oh wait, no, scratch that. I just found a Variety article that says that the movie has BDSM imagery, so that right there, I'm just gonna take that review and apply it to my already set in stone opinion about the franchise, and I'm just going to say that the film is bad because of that reason specifically. I mean, I know I disagree with Variety on a lot of things politically, but I'm just gonna use that one specific article to try and justify my opinion. So yes, that was my reading of a couple reviews off of Christian Spotlight. Who knows, maybe I'll do more reviews. They listed off a couple of other Christian movie sites, so maybe I could do future videos reading through reviews on there and see if I agree with them, which I more than likely will. So anyways, guys, I hope that these reviews were very informative, and I certainly got a lot out of them because I already went in ready to agree with them. But yeah, so look forward to more captivating Christian videos. I'm Christy Ian, and of course, may Jesus be with you.